that the sound wave, we're watching the progress of the sound wave, and it's moving through Alice's face. And suppose that at some time it has covered a distance d. Okay, so it has gone out to a distance d. So in this picture, as time has gone on, the sound wave has moved to the right, and it's moved out, say, to a distance d. Okay, in other words, we're sitting right there. Okay, so what is the corresponding time? How much time has elapsed for Alice here? Actually, c times time. Well, we can figure this out. The time that has elapsed for Alice, time is just distance over velocity. So what is that? D over c. So what is c times t? Remember, we're plotting not t versus x, but c times c versus x. What is c times Alice's time? Just d. Okay? So that means that's just d. So if that's d and that's d, well, then this must be 45 degrees. Okay? So very, very convenient to plot ct versus x instead of t versus x. What about this wavefront? What is this world line in this picture? Diagonal the other way. Okay, so as time goes on, the other wavefront moves to the left. Okay, so it's diagonal the other way. If I'm choosing to plot ct versus x instead of t versus x, it's also 45 degrees. Okay, so that's that. One thing to point out here that's very, very important is, what are the units? What are the units of c and t? Meters. Okay, so, or just a distance. Okay, if I take a velocity times the time, that gives me a distance. If I'm using meters to measure distance, then it's meters. Okay, so CTA, that has the dimensions of length. Okay, what are the dimensions of XA? Same. Okay, so both CTA and XA have the same dimensions. They're both lengths. Okay, so we can measure both of them in, say, meters or kilometers or light years or whatever. We can measure them in, say, units of meters. Okay, so in other words, what we've done is we've changed our space-time diagram from, say, seconds on this axis and meters on this axis to meters and meters. We're plotting meters versus meters. We put space and time on the same footing. It's very important. Okay, we put them on the same footing because eventually what we want to get to is the fact that space and time are not separate entities, but they're in fact parts of, just two different parts of a whole. Space-time. Okay, so in Einstein's picture of the world, space and time are unified together. They're welded together into this structure called space-time. So for Newton, space was absolute, and time was absolute. For Einstein, neither space nor time are absolute. They're both relative, and what is absolute is space-time, at least in special relativity. And then in general relativity, this space-time itself becomes non-absolute. Okay, but anyways, so we will talk about that as we go along. But the point is, by plotting CT versus x, we're now treating space and time on the same footing. Okay? Right. Okay, next. Let's talk about a certain thought experiment. So you may know that Einstein was famous for doing these fantastic thought experiments, which led him to all kinds of amazing insights. We're going to do a very, very important thought experiment here, which is initially going to tell us a little bit about the Doppler shift for sound moving in air, but ultimately it's going to tell us about the true nature of time. It's a very important thought experiment. Okay, it's going to be very, very simple to begin with, but then it's going to get conceptually very deep. Okay, so here's the experiment. What we're going to do is, we're going to start down here. Okay, so this is Alice's space axis, FA. Okay, and Alice is down here, and Alice is at rest in her space. Okay, so her world line is just a vertical line, so let's put, we're always converting a space diagram into a space-time diagram. Okay, so Alice's world line just goes up like this. Okay, so we got that. And remember, we're not putting TA here, we're putting CT. Time according to Alice times the speed of sound. Okay, and Alice is at rest with respect to the air. Okay, now we're into another character, Bob. Okay, so Alice is going to be standing here at rest in her space and at rest with respect to the still air. And Bob is doing something very simple. He's just drifting by her like this at a constant velocity. Okay, so in a space diagram, we would have him walking like this with some velocity. Okay, so that's Bob. Now, let's suppose that Alice's clock reaches, say, 0 here. This marks the point at which Bob crosses Alice's path now. Okay, so at that point, so prior to that point, Bob was to the left of Alice. After that point, he's to the right of Alice. Okay, so his world line will look like what? So let's to the right. Let's tilt it a bit to the right. Okay, but not too far. Okay, I can add this diagram something. So if something is moving at subsonic speed, Here's an example of subsonic. The tilt of the world line from the vertical is less than 45 degrees. Here's something moving supersonic. The tilt of this world line is greater. We're covering more distance in the same amount of time, and we're moving faster than the speed of sound. Okay, so we're going to see that Bob is moving at less than the velocity v is less than the speed of sound. He's subsonic. His world line will be tilted at less than 45 degrees. Okay, so we got that, and this is Bob's graph. So as Alice's clock ticks, there are tick marks up here: 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, so on. As Bob's clock ticks, that's 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, so on. Okay, so we've got that. The next thing is, what we're going to do is, we're going to imagine this situation. So Alice is at rest there. Bob is drifting by like this. Okay? The instant that they cross paths, they both zero their clocks. They hit zero on their stopwatches. Bob continues drifting like this. Okay? And then at some point, he's just drifting like this. Okay, now from Alice's point of view, what she does is, after Bob crosses her path, she looks at her watch and she waits a certain amount of time, say T, a capital T. So it's another sign, capital T, on her watch. And then she claps her hands like this, which sends a sound signal chasing after Bob. Because Bob is moving at less than the speed of sound, that sound signal will eventually catch up to Bob and hit Bob. And Bob will hear that sound signal. Okay, and as soon as he hears that sound signal, what he does is he claps his hands and he sends a sound signal racing back towards Alice. Okay, so that's the experiment. Okay, so the first thing is, from the time that Bob crosses her path, she lets Bob drift to the right for a certain amount of time, say capital T on her watch. Okay, so what is, where do I put that point on the CT axis? So let's say here. Okay, because we're plotting C times T, we plot C times T. Okay, so at this point over here, Alice sends a sound signal, she claps her hands and sends a sound signal chasing after Bob. Okay, so how do I draw that sound signal chasing after Bob? 45. Okay, so this guy's going at 45 degrees like this, and then this Bob over here, so that's 45. Okay, so, and now, that sound signal chases after Bob and eventually reaches Bob, hits Bob, and then Bob sends a sound signal back to Alice. Now this is an extremely important point, so we're going to spend a little bit of time on this. So Bob is drifting like this, okay? He hears the sound signal, say, at this point, and then while he's in motion, he goes bang, and he claps his hands and he sends the sound signal chasing back towards Alice there. The question is, with what speed does Alice reckon that sound wave is coming after? Yeah. Okay. Any other ideas? So you're on the right track. Because he's in motion to the right like this, when he claps his hands like this, it's not totally, maybe not totally obvious what the speed is going to be, or what speed Alice is going to measure. Okay, so maybe it's the speed C minus T. Any other ideas? Okay. The same speed as C. Okay, so how many say it's just C? How many say it's C minus T? How many don't know? That's good, okay. So the fact is, the speed is just C, okay, and it's a very, very important point. So let me just write this down, and then we'll talk a bit about this. Okay, so I want to make a statement here. Actually, I'll do it over here. So this is a very important fact to do with sound in here. Okay, so what's being said here? Yeah. So with respect to, so let me read this out. For observers at rest, with respect to the air, the speed of sound that they measure is independent of the motion of the source of that sound. Okay, so so the statement is that although Bob is in motion, here he is drifting relative to Alice and relative to the air. When he clasps his hands, the sound, the wave that he emits in all directions, the speed of that sound will be measured to be C for someone at rest with respect to the air. The reason for that is that sound is a vibration of air. Okay, so when if I'm at rest here and I clap my hands, what am I doing? Well, basically I'm sending out a whole bunch of air molecules. Okay, and those air molecules bump into the neighboring molecules and cause them to jiggle, and those then in turn bump into the neighboring molecules, cause them to jiggle, and so on. So it's like a domino effect. So when I go like this, I'm causing a domino effect of air molecule vibration going out in all directions. Okay, and that air, those vibrations move with the speed C the same in all directions. If I'm a moving source, if I'm walking like this, and I clap my hands like this, just as I clap my hand, I set up some disturbance in the air. Okay, now I might move on like this, and my hand might be going up here, and I'm clapping like this. I'm a source in motion. But as soon as I set up a disturbance like this, then that disturbance takes on a life of its own, okay? And it moves, it expands in a sphere centered at the point of the disturbance. Okay, so let me show you a little atlas here, which might make this a little bit clearer here. example is showing you the Doppler effect. So how do you know what the Doppler effect is? What is the Doppler effect?
It's kind of like how the sound is like from the source, but no matter how far close it is, it sounds different. And then that effect.
Okay. How far or closer do you mean how motion? Do you mean how fast or slow?
Yeah, how fast or slow it's going.
Okay. So if something is moving toward you, then the frequency of sound emitted from the
It's like close together. It's more high pitch sound.
Right. So the classic example is an ambulance. So here is an ambulance. So this ambulance is showing you an ambulance just moving along here. That ambulance is emitting sound waves. Okay, so it's like the ambulance is passing through. So it's moving towards the sound. Notice that each time the ambulance emits the sound wave, it creates disturbance in airspace at that location. Now that location, as soon as it creates that disturbance, then the sound wave moves radially outward in all directions, centered on that location. Okay, so there's a sound wave emitted, there's a sound wave emitted, there's a sound wave emitted. And once it sets up a disturbance in the air, then that wave moves with respect to the air. Okay. So there are two things going on here. One of them is the Doppler here. Okay, so you'll notice that here's an observer, and here are the sound waves coming forward our observer, and the wave fronts are closer together on this side. So the wave fronts are washing over our observer more quickly, or coming fast. So when the ambulance is approaching, we have an increase in the frequency of sound in the ambulance. When the ambulance is receding, you'll notice the distance between those wave crests is now greater. And the wave crests wash over our observer at a lower frequency. Okay, so when the ambulance is approaching, the pitch is higher. When the ambulance is receding, then the pitch is higher and slower. Okay, so that's definitely an effect. Okay, so the Doppler effect is definitely there, and we're going to try to calculate that. But what I'm trying to focus on here is the fact that the speed of this wave here, as it approaches the observer, whether the ambulance is approaching the observer or receding from the observer, the speed of these sound waves in any direction is the same as what we see relative to an observer at rest with respect to the air. Okay, so that's a very, very important concept to have in your mind. So I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Are you okay with that? Yeah. So no matter what the source is, if I'm at rest with respect to the medium, and you've got a timer, and you're running around the room doing this, moving waves, moving towards you, and so on, I look at all my Doppler effect. You're running towards me, those timers, and you're running away, and so on. But if I were to measure the speed of that sound once it's created, moves like a domino effect relative to still air. And so the speed of that wave is always c in any direction. Yeah. What about the speed relative to the light motion? What would you speed of sound? We'll do the same thing, or will it decrease? The speed of sound for it's a measure. Yeah. But then it'll change. So if you're say a source at rest, you're a finer at rest, I will measure some speed, right? If you're moving toward or away, it doesn't matter. I'll measure the same speed. But now if I start moving relative to the air, so that's a whole different story. Now say you're a source at rest, you're sending sound waves to me. They are moving with the speed c relative to the sound as well as going to the air. If I'm now moving relative to the air towards you, I'll measure c plus c by moving with time. Okay, so it's very important if you're all this applies when you're at rest with respect to the air. So there, you said that it was like a vertical line. It was a zero, and then it increases velocity across like infinity at the x. Would that be light speed at the x, other than like no time will pass once you get light speed? So you're jumping the gun here. So yes, it is true that when something is moving at the speed of light, if something is massive, it's moving at the speed of light. In which case, basically the time dilation effect becomes extreme, and basically no time elapses. So if you're a photon flipping across the room, it takes you no time to get from there to there. No time elapses. In fact, you can travel across the entire universe in no time. So we'll talk about that later. In this picture, all we're thinking about is sound in there, to get that concept clear first. Okay, so having said all that, when Bob claps his hands in here, he's a moving source. Okay, so he's drifting back like this. He claps his hands, sends a signal back to Alice. With what speed does Alice measure that sound wave coming at her? C. At what angle do I draw this seismic map? 35 degrees in the opposite direction. That's super important. This angle here is really important. Okay, so we got that. And what else can we do with this diagram? Well, we're going to add a few more details to this diagram. In fact, we're going to add some distances and velocities on the sound. So Bob is moving with some velocity to the right. Okay, so let's suppose that when Bob receives that sound signal, he has covered a certain distance d in Alice's space. Okay, so he receives the sound signal when he's traveled a distance d. So that's a d sitting there. Okay, so if this distance is d, and that's 45 degrees, what is this distance? Okay, this is also d. Okay, so you're pretty good at this. It's very important. Okay, that's how convenient this is. Because we're measuring x, we're measuring space and time, both in meters. That's t. This is in meters, that's in meters. Okay, so if that's d, and that's 45 degrees, that's d also. Okay, d meters. What about this number here? Also d. Okay, so we got that. And what else can we add to this diagram? Well, let's find the expression for yeah. So a little bit of like time pass between the return cloud. Was it not form a perfect triangle like that? Because of the time that it takes also process. Yeah. So we're going that part. So another way to think about that is Alice like this, sends the sound wave here, and Bob just has a big board here, and it just reflects off. So there's no thinking time involved. Or we think Bob is just looking at the finger. Okay. So there's no time delay. All right, so we got that. So let's talk a little bit about the relation between this distance and this velocity. Okay, so we know that distance d is velocity times time. So what am I going to put for velocity? What am I going to put for time? Think about this. Look at this picture. Well, it started at Alice's location. By the time you receive that sound signal, he had traveled a distance d. How much time has elapsed for Alice? How much time does this... So Alice reckons that Bob received that sound signal when he is located a distance d from her, and it's how much time has elapsed for the first time. Yes. So it's this time over here. So Bob crossed her path, and he moved a distance d. How much time did it take all this whole time? Okay, so it's ct plus d. Okay. But that's c times the time, and you can divide by c to get the time. So we've got that. So here in this formula here, there's a d there, and there's a d there, and what you can do is you can solve for d. I'll leave that as an exercise we're going to do. So, in fact, what we want to solve for is the ratio of d divided by ct. And so we can get this d over c divided by 1 minus d over c. Okay, so I won't go through the circle algebra. You can do it later on site if you want. This is a very important equation which we'll use many times. Okay, this we'll call equation number 1. All right. And finally, we get to the really important part of this figure, and that is how much time elapses for Bob from the time he passes Alice's location to the time that he receives the class. Okay, remember, Bob is drifting across Alice's frame. As soon as he drifting past Alice in her space, as soon as he passes Alice's location, he zeroes his clock. Time is ticking for Bob. Tick, 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 tick. That sound wave comes and hits him, boom, and then how much time does it last on Bob's clock? So according to this diagram, how much time is that? Here. Yeah, so it seems to be this, right? Equals ct. Okay, but that's assuming that when 1 second lasts for Alice, 1 second lasts for Bob. Okay, but we're not sure about that before, right? Maybe not sure about that. Okay, and in fact, when Bob is moving out to Alice, when 1 second lasts for Alice, it's understood true that 1 second lasts for Bob. Okay, so we actually don't know how much time it elapses. We're not making the assumption about universal time, that when 1 second lasts for one person, 1 second lasts for everyone. Okay, so in fact, what we'll do is we'll just say, well, we don't actually know what it is. But we do know that it's proportional to your response. Okay, how do we know that? Well, let me just draw this diagram. So Alice waits a certain time ct, and then she emits that sound data, which travels along 45 degrees. And we're interested in how much time elapses on Bob and Bob. Here's Bob, tick, 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 tick. Okay. Well, suppose we don't make the assumption of universal time. Suppose we don't make the assumption that it's simply this amount of time. Okay. We don't make that assumption. One thing we can assume, though, is that it is proportional to this time. So it's some proportionality factor, some proportionality constant k times ct, where k is an unknown constant which we will determine. Okay? And why is it proportional? Well, suppose that I were to double, suppose that Alice were to, instead of waiting times ct, suppose she were to double that time, and wait times 2 times ct. Okay? Then that sound signal will go at 45 degrees, and it's pretty obvious that if you double this side from here to here, you're going to double this side from here to here. So whatever time elapses for Bob is going to be proportional to ct. We don't yet know what that proportionality constant is. Okay? So this k is an unknown proportionality constant, which will clearly depend upon the velocity. Okay, and we're going to try to figure out how it's done on the velocity. K is directly related to the Doppler shift in this experiment. It's also going to give us some deep insight into the nature of time. All right, so let's try to figure out what K is. Okay, let's get research. All right. So we're going to determine K through 2 different means. Yeah. CT is the angles. You mean this angle here? Yeah, for like doing say that it was 45 degrees with the sound signal? Yeah. Well, I think this is 45, and then that alternate here is 45. Well, like I said, so you know this guy, you know that's 45, so this is 135 or whatever, and you know this angle is so much bigger. So then you could do apply some trigonometry to figure that out. Excellent thinking. So why don't you do that? Okay, so what you're saying is if I'm trying, like this, you know, if I know this side or know some angles, I can do sine of this, the minus angle of this side, and all that other stuff, right? Okay, so all of those relationships that are satisfied by that triangle assume that the spacing or the tissue which you're drawing is in certain geometry. Okay, so if all those properties are true, if I'm saying in my body say x versus y, if I have a triangle in space, two-dimensional space, then yes, it's true that, or let's say Pythagoras, then it's true that this square plus this square is equal to that square, right? And all those sine laws, cosine laws, are based on Pythagoras theorem, the fact that this square plus this square equals that square. Okay, so in other words, space, two-dimensional space has a certain kind of geometry. Okay, so you're assuming somehow that geometry also applies to space and time. If I were to replace